Tensions are flaring in Minneapolis between federal officers and angry protesters after a Border Patrol agent shot and killed a man this morning. We have video from a witness showing the moments leading up to the shooting from our affiliate station in Minneapolis. A warning, though, this video may be disturbing for some viewers.
People, what is wrong with you? Honestly.
We're going to pause the video here, but in the rest of this clip, you can hear nearly 10 gunshots. After the shooting, protesters were heard screaming profanities and calling for ICE to leave the city. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Family members have identified the victim as 37-year-old Alex Preddy. He's from Minneapolis and worked as an ICU nurse at a Department of Veterans Affairs hospital. The U.S. Border Patrol chief says the federal agent fired defensive shots after trying to disarm Preddy. The Department of Homeland Security claims Preddy violently resisted and says the agent that fired the shots feared for his life.
The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. You can see the gun here on the screen there that individual possessed. It appears to be a semi-automatic, high-capacity type, possibly a Sig Sauer 9mm.
The city's police chief says Preddy was a lawful gun owner with no previous criminal record. DHS did not specify if Preddy brandished the gun at agents. This morning's deadly shooting now adding to the nationwide protests that have erupted since Renee Good was fatally shot by an ICE agent earlier this month. Minnesota officials once again calling for an immediate end to ICE operations in the state. Governor Tim Walz also says the state will be investigating.
I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this. It must have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson also releasing a statement on the latest shooting in Minneapolis, saying she was horrified to hear about the shooting and is mourning for the victims' loved ones tonight. She's also encouraging everyone to connect with neighbors to monitor possible ICE activity here in Seattle, and that she'll address how the city will be responding to any ICE activity in the coming days. There is a planned vigil for the man killed happening at the federal building downtown in Seattle at 5:30. Our crews are there now. We'll bring you live updates on that vigil coming up at 6.
rapper charged with murdering a rival is due in court.
Marquise Conway, also known as Yella Beezy, arrested last year after Dallas police say he hired a hitman to kill Mo 3.
Tiffany Liu is live this morning in the newsroom. And Tiffany, what can we expect from today's hearing?
Well, Mark, Kara, this is happening more than 5 years later. The Dallas rapper is inching closer to his trial date. And like you mentioned this morning, he will appear in court for a pre-trial hearing. So Marquise DeAndre Conway, better known as Yella Beezy, is accused of hiring a hitman to kill fellow Dallas rapper Melvin Mo 3 Noble in November 2020. The victim was only 28 years old. Once a friend, turned a rival, Yella Beezy is facing capital murder charges in this murder for hire case. It happened on I-35 in Dallas, just south of the zoo, in broad daylight. Surveillance video shows the shooter getting out of a black Camaro, then chasing Mo 3 on foot before the hit. A lot has happened in this legal process since 2020. Yella Beezy's bond was reduced last March and he was released. And initially he was ordered to house arrest with an ankle monitor and some really strict conditions. But more recently, the judge modified it, allowing him to go to the studio once a week to earn some income. Today, Yella Beezy is expected for his hearing at 9 a.m. in preparation for his trial, which is scheduled to begin February 2nd. Listen.
Mass protests in Iran this morning are growing in what appears to be the most serious challenge to the government in years. Security forces are cracking down, but so far without success. Iranian activists tell NBC News hundreds of thousands of protesters have taken to the streets in multiple cities, including the capital, Tehran. And they're not backing down, facing tear gas, tearing up Iranian flags, setting fires, and confronting the feared security forces. One video appears to show a protester driving into a group of officers. The state has largely blacked out the internet to make it harder for protesters to organize and get their message to the world. That, too, doesn't seem to be working. President Trump, in an interview with Fox News, warned the U.S. could intervene on the side of the demonstrators.
I've told them that if they do anything bad to these people, we're going to hit them very hard.
Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, addressed the nation this morning, telling President Trump to focus on problems in his own country and claiming the demonstrators are being stoked from abroad. Why now? Iranians say it's the economy. Inflation is soaring as the local currency is tanking. I'm protesting against the high cost of living, said this woman. The latest unrest appears to be the most significant since at least 2022, when protests swept the nation after the death in police custody of Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old woman arrested for allegedly wearing insufficiently Islamic dress. Iran crushed that revolt, but this time it remains unclear if the protesters have the strength to go all the way and topple the government.
As I said, Iran has been successful in crushing previous demonstrations, but this time Iran is not in a very strong position compared to previous years. The Iranian government was weakened after last summer's 12-day war when Israel and the United States attacked Iran, and Iran has lost some key backers, particularly Hezbollah and the former Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. Laura, back to you.
All right, Richard Engel, thank you. Morning mass turns into a mess after a man crashed the service at a Staten Island church.
Parishioners called the police and officers traded punches and kicks with the man before they finally arrested him.
Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo joins us from Dongan Hills to break down that shocking scene. Anthony.
Yeah, Tanya, Joe, that's some wild video, isn't it? I'm told the man in that video is not a parishioner of St. Anne's Roman Catholic Church here on Cromwell Avenue in Staten Island, but somehow he ended up inside that church and having an outburst. Parishioners came here yesterday morning expecting a peaceful early morning mass, and instead they left with palpitations. What was supposed to be morning mass became a morning melee. The unruly man drops on the altar after being tased by police. The priest ducks out of the way. His sermon was over before it even began. When the man did not want to leave, the two officers tried to make him leave. But putting him in handcuffs would prove not to be an easy task. One of the cops starts wailing on the man. Stunned parishioners watched the skirmish right before morning mass Friday at St. Anne's in Dongan Hills. The officers responded to a 911 call for a disorderly man inside the church. Flowers would go flying during the all-out brawl on the altar. As the cops tried to wrestle the resisting man out of the church, he yelped repeatedly. They pummeled him in the head and then tried to drag him away. At one point, trying to kick out his leg. Eventually, the man would break free and started throwing punches at both cops, turning the house of worship into Fight Club. Well, police were finally able to get that man under control and took him into custody. He has not been identified just yet. Charges are pending against him, and the reason for that being he's at the hospital undergoing a medical evaluation. We're also told the 2 police officers involved in this sustained minor injuries, and we also understand that there was some damage to the church, as you might expect. No word on what prompted the man's outburst. I spoke to some priests here off camera who referred all comment to the Archdiocese, so we've reached out. We're live in Dongan Hill, Staten Island. Anthony Carlo, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
All righty.
Like everything I say on your Joe Rogan podcast, people don't believe me.
Oh,
so
they
that's
don't believe
why.
you.
That's why because somebody told me not to mention mermaids. It's dumb.
Don't mention mermaids?
I saw a mermaid.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
In Seychelles, Africa.
You saw an actual mermaid?
That's what it was. It was a swimming person.
Really?
Yeah. And
how long ago was this?
I don't know. Ask Will Sylvans. It was
You think there's like a small population of mermaids that are out there?
But anyway, me and this little French boy, and they said don't swim in the lagoon after dark. Everybody's up at the bar, and so everybody's gonna go down. Everybody's kind of racing now. So me and him go down. Me and him get in the water. From a distance, you see something coming like a fucking missile, but it's going fast, and we both kind of stop. And then it turns and it jumps out of the water. And it's maybe at least 10, 12 feet long, man. And it do like this, and it look at both of us and go, whoo. The water was only about this deep. Didn't make a splash or nothing. And then and me and him turned the fuck around. We running, and everybody's coming down there laughing, got their drinks in their hand. We're like, no, fuck that. And the little boy in French, and his mom is apologizing to me, saying he has a very vivid imagination. He said, no, bitch, listen, we saw a fish man, and it wasn't like a mermaid. Didn't look feminine at all.
Like a man.
A fucking man. A fucking dude who said, get the fuck out the pool. Basically, he was like, do you know Aquaman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did it look like
go,
a
hey,
fish
get out
person?
the water.
Did it look like a fish person, or did it look like a human being?
Came out.
Did it have scales?
It was kind of dark.
Dark like a dolphin?
No, but he had, the back of him was fish. The back of him was fish. His head was humanoid, eyes about so big. Then, if you Google it, the lagoons of Seychelles.
Okay.
And I ain't the first person to see some shit.
Really?
In them waters. And the guy who does the horseback riding, you can ride horses. And he said, how old are you? And I told him, he says, you're from America, right? I'm like, yeah. He says, so at this age, pretty much if you see a turtle and I tell you that's not a turtle, he says, you know it's a turtle. You're at the age, you know what you saw.
Right.
He says, people pay a lot of money at this resort. He says, yeah, it's maybe not a good idea to go around going, I saw a mermaid. And he goes, he's saying how long his family has been fishing in these waters. He says, and he's heard some things. He says, I've heard some things like what you say. He says, I've never seen what you say you saw, but it's not the first time I heard that. And I said, thank you. But basically he was saying, now if you ask me to co-sign that shit, fuck you.
Right. But
you're gonna be crazy by yourself, motherfucker.
So who told you not to talk about mermaids?
Nobody told me not to talk about mermaids.
You said that.
I just said that.
Oh.
Because I'm like, if y'all don't believe the code is bear.
You definitely won't believe the mermaid story. Well, I definitely believe the code is bear.
Yeah, I got it from my please, no cash.
Tony Woods, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me know when you spend.